45-year-old female seeking prosthodontic therapy for missing teeth is examined. Intraoral examination shows Kennedy's class 2 modification 1 mandibular arch. However, on the tooth-bound edentulous area, the posterior abutment is tilted as shown in the figure. In order to plan a cast partial denture, the best way to manage the tilted molar is... Okay, so we have been shown only the fourth quadrant in the given figure. The third quadrant is supposed to be a distal extension case. This is the tooth-bound edentulous area. What all is missing over here? Let's see. This looks like a canine. So this is 4, 5 and 6 are missing. This is 7. Now 7 is tilted. Second molar is tilted. So what should you do in order to achieve a good cast partial denture? Now there are a few treatment modalities for a tilted abutment. A tilted abutment needs correction because the path of insertion is going to change. If it is tilted, then the forces will be detrimental because there will be lateral forces acting on it in a cast partial denture, right? So the treatment modalities here is to give a removable and fixed. That means for the distal extension case, you go for a removable partial denture. And for the tooth-bound area, you can give a 4-unit bridge. But here it is said that we want a removable partial denture. So the options in the order of sequence of acceptability is first orthodontic therapy. That is orthodontic uprighting. Why that is the first choice? Because this is the most conservative approach and you are not doing any harm to the existing teeth. If you are going for a fixed restoration, you can either go for a 4-unit bridge or you can go for a partial coverage restoration just over the tooth. So partial coverage restoration would mean an onlay. Now naturally here just an onlay will not suffice. You will either need a full coverage crown which has to be surveyed. Now what does a surveyed crown mean? A surveyed crown will have rest seat prepared on it. Okay, so if it is a PFM crown, this rest seat will be in metal and this is going to support the rest from the cast partial denture. Now this is, the contours of this crown are already surveyed in a way that the clasp assembly can easily sit on it and provide a favorable path of insertion. But if you have to provide a surveyed crown, you will need an endodontic therapy for that tooth. So that is not endodontic therapy. So that is not a conservative treatment approach, right? So the best thing to do would be orthodontic upright. So coming back to the question, what should be done in this tooth-bound edentulous area? You can give a proximal half crown. Now proximal half crown is where you only leave the distal surface and prepare the rest of the tooth. Okay. Here it is indicated if it is a 4-unit FPD. If you want to give a partial coverage retainer on the molar and full coverage on the premolar, then you can go for a proximal half crown. But again, that is not a conservative treatment approach. Full coverage cast crown, like I told you, a surveyed crown, not very conservative. Enameloplasty, not advisable because you are going to modify the tooth contours in an unfavorable way because one part of the crown is higher than the other part. And orthodontic uprighting, which should be the first choice of preference in this kind of a case. So the correct answer is orthodontic uprighting.